sploosh. Oh, come on. Hey everyone, I'm Nick, and this is my 2001 Mercedes S-Class. Well, I should say it's my other 2001 Mercedes S-Class because I have one that I worked on the other week that I bought for $2,000, but this one has the sport package and I bought it for $400. If you've watched the channel before, I actually bought this last year as a parts car for the $2,000 S-Class, and it turns out it's actually in pretty good condition. The engine runs well, the suspension holds air, and the interior is in really nice shape. So instead of just taking parts from it and scrapping it, we're gonna see if we can fix it up in one day and get it ready for salvage inspection to get it back on the road. So let's get to it. Now before we can get this back on the road, we need two major things. We need a rear bumper because it was probably rear-ended before I went to Copart, and it needs some work on the PSE pump because none of the pneumatic locks work or the soft close doors. So those are two pretty important things to get it back on the road. Besides that, it needs one piece of trim on the rear door, and we'll see if there's anything else we need as we go. So let's take a look under the hood while we're here, and then we'll bring it into the garage. If you want to see a more detailed walk around of this car, I'll put a link to the video where we brought it home in the video description. And here is our engine bay. It actually looks pretty good. A little dusty. So I'm going to start it up, and I'll leave the camera pointing here so you can see, and then we'll bring it into the garage. Got to grab a jump pack to start it because the battery's dead, so let's use this one. So it sounds pretty good. Honestly, there's not a ton of oil on it. I'm not seeing any leaks. The pulleys are quiet, so that's pretty great. Now the piece of trim we're going to need goes right here. But it turns out there's a lot of trim in the trunk, and I think our door trim is right here. One thing I have right here is a bumper. Unfortunately, I was not able to get my hands on a sport bumper, but this will fit. And then one day if I can get a sport bumper or something else aftermarket, we'll grab that and pop it on. It also doesn't have the parking sensors, but you know, you get what you can. And we're keeping this rebuild budget if we can. So let's see, in here we have the original damaged trim piece for the trunk. We got our bumper trim, which we don't have the right bumper for that, and we have our door trim here, which we will pop on. You can see the carpet's out, and I think we need to work on the PSE pump back here, and we'll need to access the sides here to bolt the bumper in, because there's a couple holes that bolt into the bumper on either side. A piece of trim here for the rear door. Here I have a replacement trunk panel, center panel, so we'll use that. And I believe that is everything we will need. Oh, and I think that door trim panel goes there. That's a different type of wood. We've got the regular burl here, and that one's like a more solid brown, so I might replace that trim piece later. But that's not really critical. Looks like we have, I think some of these are the bumper screws. We got two here, two nuts. Oh, a couple more here. So maybe four screws like this, two nuts. That's perfect. We've got a CD changer box. Got another screw here. So I think we have all the mounting screws for the bumper, which is great. Okay, so for our trim piece here, you can see there's like 4 openings, 5 actually. There's one up at the front. And right here I have 5 clips. This one's broken, but it should be okay. These are going to pop into the squares here and slide forward. And this is another clip here that mounts in here. But this one's screwed in, so we have to unscrew it. And we have a Phillips head screw right here on the inside of the door right here, so I'm going to undo that. As you can see right here, just get in there, unscrew that, this piece. And this is just gonna pop in right here. You can see there's little openings. This one actually broke. That snaps in. Then we can pop these into the door. So we're gonna align these. These all also only mount in one specific place. So we'll do that. Pop it in, slide it forward. That seals up. And then we have to get in and put our screw in from the other side. There we go. Easy. So now if you do need to remove a piece of trim like that, undo the screw and then pull it backwards and out of the car. All right. I think that's everything we need to do in the middle of the car, so we can keep moving. Let's see if we can get a look at the PSE pump. It's kind of held in with foam, like a foam soundproofing. The foam's coming apart. I gotta figure out how to get this off without damaging it. There we go. Pull up the lever, or the latch thing. There's a lever on both sides. It kind of grabs the foam here. So we'll put this aside. There's the part number. All right, something I want to try first is the 20 amp fuse over here, which should be the fuse for the PSE pump, which is the pneumatic system pump, and this is actually burnt out. So I have 2 spares. There's a possibility that it just burnt out for no reason, but I have a suspicion that when I power the system, it will just burn this out again. So I'm only going to do this once. But yeah, let's try this 20 amp fuse here. Put a jump pack on it and see if it will lock the doors. And we'll see. Good pump. I hear the pump. I hear it. That's great. I mean, if it could be just that, that'd be awesome. You hear it in there. Can we lock it? I think it's struggling too much. Okay. Let's try to use jumper cables and get this to work. As you can see right here, that is too low. The good news is I heard a bunch of noise in here from the pump, and it sounded like it ran up and then it just started clicking when the battery got too low. So next is a different battery, or at least get jumper cables on. All right, I'm jumping off another battery here. You can hear that running. I can hear it responding to the lock and unlock, but nothing's moving. I can hear it trying. Okay, let's pull the pump out. So I'm going to keep removing this, which was partially removed. Oh, there's a screw back here. Let's get this out of here. Okay, with that done, we can remove the pump. And now it's just wedged in there. So we're gonna just wiggle it out, and then we'll unplug it. Just get in here, grab it, wiggle it. There we go. Then we have 2 connectors here. One in the back, one in the front. Perfect. We're gonna color code these hose holders for the pipes. Okay, now let's pry these off. There's little slots in there. Right here, we want to pry those off so we can remove the block as a whole. There's 2 tabs. The one on this side is going to be pushed in that way. The one on the back the other way, and we'll pry up one side at a time. If we can. Here we go. Same thing on the other side. There we go. Boom. We got our color coding, and now we can service this. So what's most likely happened is the impeller in here has failed, and I actually have a replacement. Okay, now it's time to open this up. I'm gonna flip it around. We have to separate the 2 halves. So you should be able to pry it apart. So you can put a screwdriver between that and pull apart. This is just a lid. It's pretty warm. Okay, we're gonna pop the motor out. It's got 4 feet. We got power and ground here, which we could mark. G. We've got a couple hoses over here. So these pipes there, gonna pop those out too. Here we go. I'm gonna mark this so it stays in line. You can actually see these 2 hoses plug onto those 2 things. That's so I know everything is in the right orientation. And pull these ears off. Now if you want, you can remove this from the, you can desolder these and see if I can do it in place. And we have T10 screws here. They're not too tight. Now this is a whole stack, but we're gonna just loosen this one so we can just pivot this out of the way. And in here we have our impeller, which looks fine, I guess. I don't know. It seems okay. That's weird. Let's see, is there anything wrong with it? It actually seems okay. The fins seem fine, but okay, that's interesting. They are a little worn, but so I have a replacement right here and replacement fins. And the way this works is there's one side is slanted right here, and when we put this in, we'll put the slant in line with the hub. So be sure to keep an eye on that. And this can only fit on one way. It's going to go with this little pin on the pin right here. So we'll drop that in. There we go. I was hoping that this would actually, if this one was damaged, that might have been the issue. Oops. Okay, that looks good. Pop this back on. Now we don't want to over tighten these. This is all graphite. We just want it to be snug. And then we'll see. I don't know if that's going to fix it. I mean, ultimately, kind of expected this to be broken. That would have explained a lot, but it runs. But maybe there's another issue. We'll find out. There we go. Drop the feet in here. There's little holders. Pop that down. Okay, that seems like it's reassembled. I'll put this aside. These are fine. It's weird. Let me see what, while I'm in here, everything else looks fine. Remember, this went next to this. So let's pop that on here. We'll see if that worked. I don't know. I'm really not sure. I expected it to be damaged, but we'll see. Match our tape colors, and then our connectors here. Pop that in for now, and we'll see. Let's try it again. Let's try to see what happens this time. Okay. Okay. It ran and stopped. That's good. All right, will it lock? I hear it running, but nothing's happening. trying, but it's not doing anything. Something else is a problem, huh? Pump runs, but nothing happens. Okay. Let's keep investigating. Okay, since that didn't work, I'm gonna pop this back out and we're gonna open it up again and see if we can find any other hints of what may be going wrong. Looks like there could be an air leak there. I don't know. It's kind of dusty in here. It looks like maybe the black powder from something could have gunked something up. Powder from the impeller, maybe? Let's see. It's possible that this is dirty. Let's see. T20. It seems okay on this side. Nothing looks out of the ordinary here. There's like graphite on here. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe something is leaking somewhere. These ports seem okay, but that is dusty, so maybe it has been blasting powder out there. I'm going to try to measure the resistance on each solenoid. Okay, it should all be 34 ohms. Oh, I'm reading 36, but... Okay, so all the coils, all the solenoids seem to have the right resistance. So maybe something else is going on. Okay, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to pop these manifolds off, or the connector blocks off, and I'm going to try to run it and see if I feel air moving in and out of stuff. Let's see. That's suction there. I don't think there's any like vacuum or suction coming out of all the door opening. So something must be blocked up in the pump. Okay, well that's progress. All right, let's see again. We're gonna hit unlock here. Let's see if this will do anything. Nothing happens. Pump runs, nothing happens. Now I've made a video where I fixed the pneumatic thing on my other 2001 S-Class, so I'm gonna do that again here. I think, yeah, this just clips in, so I'm gonna take this off, pull it off, and see if there's a huge leak in there, and we'll see. If you wanna see the whole video where I do this on my other car, I'll put a link in the video description. You have to unplug the trunk release, which I guess doesn't really work when the PSE system doesn't work. Oh yeah, that's extremely broken in here. So right here, you see? That should be sealed up. I don't know, it doesn't even sound like the air's getting over here. It's plugged in. So the sensor does stuff, but well, this is a problem, but I don't think it's the problem. Okay, so I do hear some air in here. That's something. I'm gonna wrap this up in tape. Let me mark the, these are T30s. You could also epoxy this together. That works. This is more like a, let's see if we can get it to work situation. No, there's something else going on. So what's supposed to happen is this lever here is supposed to get pushed once this reaches it. So this is not doing anything. Snap this back in, I guess. So that is not it. All right. Okay. When you reassemble that, make sure the arm here is clipped in correctly so that when you push the button it will release it. Next, I'm going to scan the car for any codes that might give me a better idea of what's going on. But there's going to be problems in the door modules. I don't know, maybe not. Power locking. Yeah, you know what? Maybe there's an error from just sitting and I need to reset everything. What we're going to do. Alright, we're going to erase everything. I need to plug in the module again and see if that does anything. Because it kept going with clicking. There's probably a leak somewhere. Might even be in here. Still some faults, huh? Oh, okay. What's still in here? Okay, that's not a big deal. Front left SAM. That makes sense because I unplugged it. That's good. That just means we got to reset that at some point. Nothing happened. I heard something in the front driver door. It sends the commands, right? Do we have any trouble codes? Safety time is exceeded, everything is exceeded, everything's too high. Yes. Okay, no fault codes. That's good. We have a big old leak in the driver door, so which may be preventing everything else from working. I don't know. Now what we're gonna do is maybe take a break on the PSE system and try to put the bumper on. I guess I'll put the battery here. I have found something very questionable in here. The battery tray in here is full of water. So there's clearly a drain that's not working or something that's leaking in. So that is not very good. I don't really want to put my hands in there. Anyway, I have since that battery is so dead and wet, which is not good, I have jumper cables into another battery right now to use the scan tool while I figure out what to do with this wet battery tray. There's got to be a drain down here. There has to be. But I don't know where it is. Now, our bumper, we have a couple screws that go here and here. And you can kind of see on this side, holes there and there for some bolts. We also have 2 studs here on the bumper, and those mount inside here. And then there are 2 bolt holes there that will mount underneath the car. And these here are like sliders, and those slide on right there on both sides. So we're gonna try to do that. So I should be able to grab it, slide it on, and then I can bolt it in here and on the sides. This is I believe this is a keyless go harness, which we are not equipped with on this car. You zip tie it to the other stuff. Let's find out. Can we do it? It's probably easier with 2 people, but oh, come on, I was so close. Oh, come on. You got the nut on that. All right, you can do one side, pop the nut on here, slide on the other side, and then pop the nut in here. And then it's pretty much, it's mostly mounted. You know what, before I work in there, I'm gonna drain that water disaster over there. So I'm gonna get a pump and take care of that. It's messed up. There's got to be either a drain hose that's missing or a drain that's plugged up or something. That's a lot of water. It was like almost to the top of the battery. It's pretty horrible. Okay, so all the screws and bolts for the bumper are 10 millimeters. I'm going to get a wrench for that. I'll probably pull the battery out later on. Still a couple inches in there. While that keeps draining, I'm going to work on the bumper on this side. So as we saw earlier, actually you can see it here. See, there's a couple holes in there. And I believe these are these types of screws. I'm gonna test it out in there. Yep. So this has to come inward and up, I guess. And that'll get pulled into place by these bolts. Yeah, all right. Look at that. It's on. All right, let's see. Lines up good. It's a little scuffed up, but we've got it. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. Looks like our situation here has finished draining for now. Oops. Oh, is that what these are? Are these pieces trim that goes around the... no. Maybe in here. Yeah, this is trim that goes here. Okay. We'll have to figure that out. Looks like we have covers for the springs here or something. We've got these pieces which appear to be for this in here. Come down here, so we'll have to put that back in. This is probably why water's getting in the place it's not supposed to, because it's supposed to drip off of this. So, okay, I guess that's interesting. Okay, good to know, good to know. Okay, let's pull this back and get our this side of the bumper bolted in. Much easier on this side. Right, with the bumper I also have to put a couple bolts in on the bottom. I think maybe it's these bolts. We'll see. Yep. All right, that is the bumper complete. Let's get this battery out. It's a 13 millimeter for the retainer bolt right here. Get the plate. Now we gotta lift the battery out and figure out what the situation is with the drain. Ew. Oh, a sploosh. Oh, I hate it. Oh. It's always so damn hard to get these batteries out. Come on, Mercedes, why'd you do this? Come on. Oh. Ew, it's so slimy. Oh, it's horrible, horrible. Oh, it's all wet. Oh. Ew, 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 ew. Ah, that's horrible. All right, let me look down here. Yeah, it's draining. Okay. That's horrible. Ugh, I gotta go wash my hands. That's so horrible. And they'll drip out here.
Now it's time to turn the car around to work on the driver door.
So here's where we are so far. We got the bumper on, which is great. It went on without any issues. And we started working on the PSE pump. We didn't have a broken impeller, which that would have been a much simpler fix if it was just that, but apparently there's an issue with something in the system. It might be in the pump, but I did hear an air leak in the driver door, so we're gonna pull that off. But while we're here, I'm gonna show you there is another issue in here, and it's with the driver window. As you can see, it's not really attached. This is not ideal, not ideal. And so I'm going to open this up and see what's happened down here, because it seems like the glass is not attached to the window regulator. So we're gonna find out what's going on. Can we lock anything? I hear a leak. Now I have actually taken a door apart on an S-Class already. This is a pre-facelift, so there's very minor differences. I'll put a link to the video where I replaced the door lock actuator and soft close whole assembly on my 2004 S-Class if you want to look at that. But we're gonna get this open. So first thing we're gonna do is take this trim off. This clips into this panel here. And be careful not to crack the wood. And we got Torx screws here. I think in this generation, this comes off. Yeah, so in the facelift version, this doesn't come off, but we've got a big screw in here and one here that holds. I actually don't know if it holds this panel on, but since we're taking the whole thing off, we gotta take this cover off too. So we can get these Torx screws out. So you have to take this one out too. I thought it was separate, but it's a part of it. All right, now we have to unplug all this stuff. Okay, so there is one connector that goes between this and the other module. We can leave in. Maybe you just unclip the module. This is the only connector I removed here for the mirrors. All right, now let's continue. We've got one giant Phillips here, one giant Phillips here. There's a little Torx screw here. Actually, it's a Phillips again. They're all Torx on my other car, so I guess they updated. All right, and there's another big one right here. Now I have to get under here and pry this off. All right, we can pull this up. We'll feed that through. Yep, up. And we just got this through here. Disconnect. No, stop. Oh, God damn it. Ow. Connector here that's connected in the door. Okay, all the clips are in. That's good. We have to peel this back. There's something binding in there. Oh, that's just broken off, huh? All right. See this? This is supposed to be attached to the actuator, so nothing happens because it broke off. Yeah, I think I have a replacement part for this actually, from when it didn't work in my other car. I might be able to use that. Oh, oh no, it blew out. Okay, you can see that. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So right here, this is supposed to be attached to the whole mechanism. You can see the air solenoid in there a bit. That's supposed to move in and out of the whole assembly in here. I don't know why this is binding still. Essentially, this is kind of what happened on my other car. Maybe worse, I don't know. Okay, so that seems to work. Maybe this door doesn't lock unless it's closed, which would be a nice safety mechanism, because you don't want to lock your keys in the car from this door. You can do it on the others. Maybe that's specific to this door. I was hoping I wouldn't have to take this whole thing out, but I might have to. But anyway, I don't think this is going to be a one-day rebuild anymore, because I think that ship has sailed. Oh, I forgot. We need to check the window. Okay. It's not broken. Maybe it's just detached. It's not broken. That's good. It's just not grabbed into the thing anymore. As you can see here, not broken. Maybe chipped a tiny bit. But I think essentially it popped out on both sides. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get it back into place and re-secured. What I'm trying to do here is get the glass into the other holder. So it bolts in from the front, so it means if we lower this enough, we'll see the mounting screw right here. So we can loosen it, seat it, and bring it back up. All right, so I loosened and retightened these, and then it seemed to hold it, and now it comes down, back up. But sometimes it also detaches anyway, so clearly there's still something wrong. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I do have another window and a part door. We'll have to see. Actually, the thing is, since I have a window from a part door, I could actually probably have a mechanism in there too that I could replace this with. Maybe if this leak is bad enough, it's interfering with the rest of the PSE system, because it's responding to this. Like, I hear air in here, so clearly it's pulling or pushing. So there's something working, but since this is just straight up open, any air that comes in is just not going to do anything. So we'll see. I may have to just remove the whole mechanism in there and try to rebuild it with that part I have. So we'll see. So did I succeed at a one-day rebuild? Well, cosmetically, mostly, no. The bumper's on. Car drives, so that's good. Not locking and unlocking is still not great, so we're gonna have to investigate that a little further. I definitely have to fix the driver door. I don't know if that leak's bad enough to prevent all the doors from locking and unlocking, but I also know that the trunk isn't locking and unlocking properly either, so some more investigation to do there. And then I guess the PSE pump too. So will I have to go to a junkyard to get some spare parts? Maybe. We'll have to see. Now, I haven't given up hope in one day getting a one-day rebuild complete, but so far the Range Rover ended up taking more than one video, and this one is probably going to take also more than one video. But it's a good start, and I am somewhat familiar with the issue in this door since I've done it already. And I actually think I still have the spare for that part. So I'm going to have to take the mechanism out, unfortunately. So it means I have to take the door handle out. It's a whole thing, but we'll get it done. Then when that's fixed, we'll have to see if that resolves the PSE issue or if we have another issue. So hopefully I'll be able to do all that in the next video. But having bought this car for $400, I think we're still off to a pretty good start. I do wish I'd been able to finish it all today, but it's not a huge deal. You know, that's what it's like with car projects. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see me continue work on this, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you have any ideas about the PSE pump or you just enjoyed the video, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.